Seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Welcome into another edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. And in this video, we are here in the Zoom studio. We got Token Tony, we've got Bobby Digital, and Tony Johnson all back here. What's up, gentlemen? How are we doing today?
Good morning. Happy to see you. Hello.
Good morning. All right, boys. We had our first PGA Tour event since the coronavirus, and what a finish. Mr. Tony Johnson, I know that, our fading of Bryson DeChambeau did not work out in our favor, but
True.
just to have golf back and have some action and just even that, elevation of your heart pounding a little bit had to feel good.
Yeah, it was a really big week over here. I'm not going to lie to you. We also had we plucked Daniel Berger for at 80-1, which was really nice, and had some magic score away too. So it was not gonna lie, it was a big one. DeChambeau didn't come through. Had him on a prop bet, but other than that, I think tournament went about as well as could be expected. A lot of guys that were playing quality golf before the break continue to do so. So that was sort of interesting in itself too. But looking forward to this week for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Token, you and I played golf on Monday, and we burnt a few edges, but not as bad as what's-his-face, Morikawa did.
Oh, yeah. He had at least half a dozen that were literally like one grass leaf away from dropping.
Yeah. Bobby, that's got to feel – I know, don't worry about us. We play for fun with a little money on the line, but just put yourself in the mind of Morikawa, with that putt on I think it was 18, and just – what goes through your mind when now you realize, oh, shit, it's going out?
Well, the good news is when you're Colin Morikawa, you made 24 straight cuts. You probably got about $5 million in the bank, and you're already one of the pre-tournament favorites here at Hilton Head. So I think his head hit the pillow, and he was okay that night. It still sucks not being able to win, but he's going to be right back up there today. Colin Morikawa is definitely going to make the cut. I think he's going to be just fine.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's move on to the 2020 RBC Heritage at one of my favorite places in America is at Hilton Head. I've never been to the golf links at Harbor Town, but I would like to visit that someday. But Hilton Head is one of the more beautiful places, not only in the Southeast, but across the country. Tony, you're the guy who kind of gives us the backstory on the course this year, Mr. Johnson. So what do we need to know about Harbor Town as far as who it favors and who we think, we thought DeChambeau, but who we think may struggle here this weekend?
Yeah, there's going to be some similarities, certainly, stemming from Colonial all the way up here. This is a shorter course. You're going to see a lot of the shorter hitters and more accurate players, I think, be more involved. And in my opinion, even more so than last week. This course is very big on placement off of the tee. So you can hit fairways on this course on a multitude of holes and not have much of a shot onto the green. You can be blocked out by trees. And fairways also end at a certain point, too. So there's some holes where the fairway only extends about 250 yards or so, and then it just becomes native area. So you can't at all hit driver on a few of these shots. So I do think even more so than last week, we're going to see the controlled player, the heady player that knows how to get around the course a little bit easier. And then I might bring this up a little bit later on too, because I think this is important, but this course is entirely Bermuda grass. Last week, Colonial, the greens were bent grass. So I think you'll see some of the different types of putters, so especially the people from the south and far west that will succeed a little bit more on this type of course. But it's going to be a fun time. We'll see. We get a lot of first-time winners at this course historically, and it's a good time. So the weather is usually a factor here too. So it should be a lot of fun this week.
So Token, looking at the early favorites, you got Rory and DeChambeau, according to William Hill, at 12-1. Is this a time, and I know it may be a shot where a lot of people will probably want to start tailing DeChambeau, but apparently, according to the articles I've been reading, this may be a time to actually go ahead and fade him. Maybe we were a week early on him.
Possibly. I mean, I kind of like him more than Rory this week, but however, I mean, they're both not on my list for probably top 5, so I could see them squeaking inside the top 10, like a T6 or something around there. But
I gotta say, I first and foremost, Token, you know this, I want to apologize to Justin Rose, Harold Varner III, and Jordan Spieth, because the minute I laid action in play on those 3 gentlemen on Saturday, they immediately fell off, and Token can attest to that.
yes, it's like literally you hit the button, they miss like a 10-footer for birdie, and
Bobby, it's like they know, man. It's like they know I bet on them.
Absolutely. We've all been there. As soon as you hit the green button, place bet, the world goes bad. That's the same thing. I'm always like that when I'm watching the thing. Like, I'll sit there and I'll do nothing and I'll be paying attention to other things. And I had Jordan Spieth last week. He birdies 2, gets right back into contention. I turn the channel back over, and next thing you know, he 3-jacks it from 18 feet or whatever the hell it was, or hits one out of bounds, and just did.
Yeah, I think he 3-putt from like 11 feet away.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job, Jordan. Hit one out of bounds when you're 2 shots back. That's great.
He literally shit the bed, yeah.
That's fair enough. So, all right. Well, without further ado, let's start getting into some of this stuff. Early on looks, we'll start with that top tier. You've got guys like Schauffele, the normal names, Justin Rose back up to 25-1. John Rahm, who really kind of, shit the bed, for lack of a better word, as well. Let's look at that first clump of guys from Rory at 12-1, DeChambeau at 12-1, JT 15, all the way down here on the William Hill to the Jordan Spieth, as you mentioned, and Brooks Koepka, with the previous week's winner, Daniel Berger, at 35-1. Tony Johnson, I'll start with you. In the favorites, give me 1 or 2 guys that you're really looking at sprinkling some change on.
Yeah, I've already got one bet. This is probably the best value, I think, of the week, to be honest with you. I've already made this one. He's moved down pretty much everywhere. And that's Patrick Reed. I got him at 35. He opened at 35 in William Hill. So again, this is another one of those things. Like last week, I had Rory Sabatini, and I don't like to, have to root for these guys I really dislike. And Patrick Reed's another example. I mean, he's a real dickbag, but he can play. And I think his game is fit perfectly for this type of course. So this course is also going to favor the better scrambler, and scrambling has a lot to do with putting as well. And that's what Reed's been the best, maybe on tour, in that combined category this season. Statistically, he's in the top 5, but I think he actually might be the best. He's already won this year in Mexico, and I think he's just really primed. And he's another good, smart, heady player that I think will get through this course pretty well. So that's a guy I like, and I haven't put anything on him yet, but Webb Simpson's hard to say no here. He's 9 of 9 with 6 top 20s in his career. He did miss the cut badly last week, but another theme that I'm sort of going through this week is I'm not reading too much actually into last week. I think that's a very commonality from all the things I've watched that people are really focused on last week. Last week was the first time back in 3 months, and I think that theirs is a whole new deal, and I think we're going to see a lot of different type of play, both for better or worse, depending on who we're talking about. Just like you said with DeChambeau, I think there's a decent chance to fade here as well if you wanted to go that route. But, yeah, those are the 2 guys I'm looking forward to, especially with Patrick Reed in this group.
Yeah, most definitely. All right, Token, same question to you here in that first clump of the favorites. Your guy, I know a guy you like to place a lot of action on, Sung J M is in here at 25-1. Is that a guy you're putting some change on?
No, actually, I only have one on this list from the favorites to the 35-1 is Schauffele. I like him at 20.
So
I'm
solid.
sure he opened.
So
Yeah, I'm sure he opened a little higher than that, but he probably dropped because he did pretty well last week. I mean, he missed a few putts and all that, but I think he can scramble pretty easily. He hits fairways pretty regularly. I mean, I think he was like top 10 or top 20 in fairways hit last week and throughout the beginning of the year too. So,
yeah, most definitely. All right, Bobby, same question in that first clump of guys from Rory all the way down to Spieth and Berger and Koepka. Who's some guys in that clump of the of the odds that you like?
Well, nobody said Rory, but nobody's going to say Rory every week because he's always going to be from 8-1 to 11-1. So Rory's always going to be in the mix. He's always going to be there. The curly headed fuck. He's going to be right in the middle of things. But this week, I like Justin Thomas and John Rahm. John Rahm is a fiery guy, and he does not like missing cuts. I think most of my money will be on the top tier. Will be on John Rahm this week.
All right, fair enough. Any
Are
guys?
you worried about him being a first timer here, Bobby? Because I know that sometimes has been very hit or miss for players in the past.
Hey, guys are pumped up, ready to play golf, and he's one of the best golfers in the world. I don't care if he's seeing it for the first time. I'm sure these guys have seen these courses time and time again, whether it be on TV or anything else. So I'm not worried
On the
about
golden
Ron being
tee.
a first timer.
Been hitting the golden tee. Can't hit it off with an iron, but they can hit off with their thumbs.
Pat on your palm.
So question here. This is for anybody who wants to have an opinion on it with John Rahm. Growing up watching golf, Tiger's antics or attitude seemed to get away with it. A lot of people are really low on Rahm because of his antics and attitude on the course. Why is that?
People don't like dicks.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think he acted any different than Tiger used to. Is it just because Tiger won?
Well, Tiger is also the best golfer in the world. John Rahm's not there yet. He is in the upper echelon of golfers in the world, but how many wins does he have? It can't be. It's in the 5 to 15 range, right? That's not Tiger numbers. You're gonna act like Tiger, you got to beat the shit out of people. Come on, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in my opinion, his ego speaks louder than his performance.
Okay.
So I think that's why people don't generally like him as much as probably they should respect him. So I don't know. But
Fair enough. Mr. Johnson, you got a comment on that?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's still young. He's 23, 24 years old, and he kind of has that sort of bratty, sort of ish look to him. You know, Tiger never, obviously, had that. So I think he's also not an American either. So it's not, you're not going to be as soft usually with a non-American. So, yeah, I mean, winning will cure everything. If he starts reeling off majors here and there, it will cure literally everything. And off the golf course, and he does a lot of instructional stuff on YouTube or whatever. He seems like a really down-to-earth, awesome guy. So if he gets some more play, I think nationwide and large-scale media, he'll bounce back. Would be my guess.
All right, moving on. Let's look at the next kind of tier of golf odds right here, starting with Gary Woodland and DJ, along with Matt Kuchar in the 40-1 range. We'll go down to about my guy, Mr. Joel Dahman, in the 80-1 range with Jason Kokrak, which we like to. I like to include Hit Kokrak in every podcast. So the 40-1 to 80-1 kind of guys here. Bobby, I'll start with you. Who's a name or two in that area that you're thinking about putting some change on?
My boy who's going to get my money every single week, Kevin Kisner. I think he's around 50 or 60-1. He's finished second here twice, if I'm not
50,
mistaken. Yeah, I think Kiz is getting a lot of my money this week. Plus, he's just a good old boy. He's got a lip full of dip and a beer in his back pocket. It's my kind of fella from Aiken, South Carolina. Kevin Kisner.
yeah, Kisner finished second in a playoff in 2015 to Furyk in this.
Old Jimmy Furyk. All right, Token. Who's this? Who's the guy in this spot? You got Ricky Fowler, 50-1. You got Bubba at 70. Hovland, who is a guy I actually was able to utilize against Kevin Na and a couple of other guys in some lates. After Kevin Na missed the cut, I used him against some other guys in some matchups to scrape together a little bit of a chase. But in this area, who's some guys? And our guy T-Rail Hatton is in there too.
Yeah, he is. One guy
You can have him.
Thought he was a black guy for like 3 years.
I can't blame you for that. Yeah.
One guy on the top of this area is last year's runner-up, Matt Kuchar. He always seems to play here pretty well and can scramble if he does come off of the fairways into that thicker rough and knows when to lay it up or when to risk it for the biscuit. So, and he's a pretty decent putter too. I mean, I would definitely take his putting over mine any day.
Yeah, you're right. Runner-up last year, 2 other top 10 finishes in the last 5 trips. So I mean, Matt Kuchar's always that guy. He's never really going to win, but he might put you in
Yeah, when are you
contention
going
this
to
week.
win something, Cooch?
Yeah.
For Christ's sake, make
I
something
know.
on the weekend.
The real
This
question
week is probably the week. Another one, not liking him as much as Kuchar, but give me Bubba. I mean, played.
Mr. Pink Driver himself.
Yeah, he played pretty well last week. I kind of hate rooting for him, but at that value, he seems like he knows how to manage horses a little better now, in my opinion. And yeah, I mean,
Fair enough. Follow-up question to you, Mr. Token Tony, is if Matt Kuchar does indeed win,
Mhm.
can he get in 4% or 0.4%?
He's getting
he's
this
going to
much
get
right
a
here.
Franklin.
$180, Matt Kuchar. $180.
Oh, that's more generous
Nice.
than I was thinking. I was thinking one Franklin.
And a roll of packing tape.
All right.
Maybe
No.
some duct tape
All the free balls from Titleist that he could steal.
There you go.
from the range.
Mr. Johnson, the 40 to 1 to 80 to 1 range. Who are some guys or one guy that you got your eye on here?
Yeah, just for Token and everybody else that's interested in Bubba Watson, his number's a little low on William Hill. He's up 90 and 100 in a few places, at least in Las Vegas and around the interwebs. So pay attention to that if you're down the Bubba Watson train this week. But yeah, I got two guys, and I'll piggyback Bobby here. I've already made the bet on Kisner. This is just a slam dunk, 100%. Yeah, there's really not much to think about. Obviously, from the general vicinity, he loves playing here. He's talked about this being his favorite tour stop. He's got a good record. He's only missed one cut in 7 tries. Now, there's just no reason not to give him a shot. And I'm also not overthinking this one either, I don't think. I'm going to go with Brandon Grace as well at 50 to 1. He's a past winner here. He's made all four cuts. And he hasn't finished outside of the top 40 either, even in those cuts made. He has a really strong record. He's averaging about 69 on this par 71. And he finally putted well last week for the first time in a long time. His putting stats were down in the low 200s coming in the last week, and looks like he might have righted the ship a little bit. So I'm not going to overthink this. I'm just going to go with Brandon Grace here and ride this one out. And against our boy Terrell Hatton, he does have a matchup against Hatton at plus 110. I know what you'll get to later on, but that could be a good spot for Grace as well.
Fair enough. Yeah. At the Schwab, he shot 66, 66, 66 to put him in contention. Unfortunately, a 73 took him out.
Yeah.
And he finished T19. Excuse me. All right, so let's move on to long shots. These are our favorites, boys. This is where the JB Holmeses of the world make us a little money. Looking at you, Mr. Johnson.
That was a good day.
Yeah. We look at guys like Ian Poulter leading this group at 90 to 1 all the way down. Let's see. How far can I go down?
All of them.
We'll throw out.
Baby.
So that internet went.
What?
He sounded like freaking R2D2 in that spot.
I was going to say he must be recording out Rachel in Nevada.
All right. Well, we got Ernie Els at the bottom here at 400 to 1 with one of my favorites at Vijay Singh as well. So long shots here. I'll look at Harold Varner 125 to 1. Mr. Fuck You himself, Alex Noren, who cost me my first round match against Joel Domin. I don't know what to do with this guy. I don't know what to do with this fucking guy. I can't bet on him. I can't bet against him. He's a piece of fucking sandbagging shit. I hate him.
You take out the permanent marker and black him out of everything, either
just-
for or against.
I can't stay away from him because now I hate him too much. I literally, Joel Domin shoots 68, 65. Joel Domin shoots 68 in round 1 and he gets beat by 1 strike. I don't know what to do.
Take a deep breath. Wait till next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, do I lay off him this week? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Lay off on 4 against him this week.
All right, and another guy I looked at here, your boy Charlie Hoffman, Token at 125 to 1, but a lot of love's been given to Luke List here at 150 to 1. Token in the long shots, I'll let you start it off.
Yeah, one I definitely like on this list. He hasn't played yet since the restart. Is Schwartzel.
That's
Believe
your
it or
boy. That's your boy.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah. How much money have you put on him over the course of the last 2 years? $1,000?
Probably around 1,000. Yeah.
Oh, gee. That was an exaggeration.
No, it was not.
Well, for the Masters this year, currently I have around 100 on him to win. So
That's right. I remember you mentioning those bets. You made two consecutive bets, I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
So.
I love it. So, all right. So you got Schwartzel in this one. Anybody else in this area? A little $5 on Charlie Hoffman.
No, I'm actually going with a guy that we had last week as well that Mr. Johnson mentioned is Danny Lee. I kind of liked his style, even though he underperformed. But I mean, I thought he actually played pretty well, and that was going to be a learning experience for this week coming up. So.
All right. So, Bobby, was Harold Varner just kind of a flash in the pan, had a good week, or can we see him put together some? I mean, he was 125. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last week as well. And
150.
150. Excuse me. There you go. So, and we got a little sweat out of him, but are we just seeing flash in the pan? Because, he's been a lot of the media darling, I guess you can say, with everything going on and the way he played in the first couple rounds. Is he just kind of a flash in the pan, or could we see something from him? And also, what other golfers do you like in this clump?
Well, I'll tell you this: Harold Varner Jr. and the third, I beg your pardon, HV3, was asked numerous times all week about what was going on in the world, and he completely dismissed it. He's like, "I'm just trying to play golf."
Agreed,
Guess
yeah.
what, Harold Varner III? I'm completely dismissing you this week. You're gonna miss the cut. You're gonna be 3 over. No chance. And my bomber of the week is a guy who's finished second here 17 times or some shit.
Jack Nicklaus?
Luke Donald is playing this week, so I'm taking Luke Donald. That he's going to be 4 million to 1 or whatever the hell it is. I'll throw some money at it because I've got nothing better to do since baseball hits my gut.
You might as well just take Bernard Longer at that point too.
Hey, the guy likes the course, and I know he's not in form. He's probably 57 years old. These guys go from 32 to the mid-50s in half an hour. So Luke Donald he's finished second here numerous times. Luke Donald.
Luke
I'm
Donald's
taking him to
currently
win,
150.
150?
It might not be
150.
enough.
It's a bad price. I'm Donald. Yeah. You might balk at that price. Yeah. Bad number.
All right, Mr.
I
Johnson.
was hoping to get 250, 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a real price. I agree.
But,
I tell you what, Bobby, why don't you grab him at the start of the second round at 500 to 1 when he shoots 6 over?
if he's
20
still on the
Luke
list.
Donald dollars.
20 loop dollars. It's a shroot buck. All right.
Pretty much what it is. It has no value. I'm going to give it to Luke Donald.
Mr. Johnson, this is your time to shine here, the long shots. I've seen you pluck a few out of here. So.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of luck involved in this, so I'm just going to try to ride the hot train. But I think there's some names that make sense, and I'm not even trying to troll you here, Aaron. But I think there's some value here at 150 with Alex Noren. Again, he had a really, really well-rounded week last week. I know. I
How do I shut off his mic? How do I shut off that mic?
I wasn't sure if you're going to bring him up this week, but you did, so I figured this would be good. But again, there's some value. He's been playing well in the off season too. He went back to Europe for a little while and played on one of the mini tours out there. So I know he's ready to go. So that's interesting. But so we got him at 150. Bud Pauly at 125. I had him last week as well. Again, he just keeps rounding into form ever since that bad accident he had about a year and a half ago. He's just been playing better and better. He's a great fit here, an incredible scrambler, great putter. So I think it makes a lot of sense. A few other guys, I got Emiliano Grillo marked. I haven't bet it yet at 200. Kevin Streelman is 200 at a couple of other spots as well. An incredible record. He's got 2 top 10s the last 2 years here.
He's got a second place here, doesn't he?
He does.
Does he have a second? Yeah.
He does. He got a second and like a 7th. That's right. Yes. Very streaky player. So, again, streaky guys I want to be on. And the ultimate of streaky players, the absolute ultimate, Siwoo Kim at 250 to 1 out at Westgate is your ultimate variety of craziness. He also has a second place here. He's also missed the cut by 9 shots before. So, we know what we're getting there, but he's a guy that has been working on his game a lot, and I know his instructor, Claude Harmon, has been talking about how he's probably the most improved of all his guys over the last 3 months. So I'm going to try to find a needle in the haystack with Siwoo Kim here at 250.
Token, Siwoo Kim plays golf like I do, dude. In the span of 1 week,
Yeah.
I shot an 88 and a 103.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's like
It was on the same course even too, right?
no, I shot a 90 the other day on Rio Seco, and then 4 days later shot a 103. Oh, my God. What a disaster. Bobby, you were there. That was fun.
It was a lot of fun, man. I had a great time at that course. Places like that usually have me thrown out within the first 30 minutes. So, yeah, I loved Rio Seco.
And that's fair
Surprised I
enough
didn't
because
say
I've
anything
seen you
about
put a
my
club in a
flip-flops.
lake here. So, all bets are off with you.
I'm surprised they didn't say anything about my sandals there.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. You always golf in flip-flop. That's a fun one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move into the matchups here. Token, you've been real hot, real sharp on these matchups, so I'll let you lead off.
Ooh, nice. One I definitely like this week is Fowler, actually, believe it or not, over Finau at -105. And then another one that I do like is DJ over Koepka. I know DJ was a little on the lighter side of things last week, but when you get him at almost a pick 'em or a little better, I like him against almost anybody at that price.
Yeah, DJ -105. Mr. Johnson, what are some matchups you see in this spot here with the RBC Heritage?
I feel like that's who misses the cut and by how many shots worse than the other player with that last one. I don't like either one of those guys, Koepka or DJ. But not to say that he can't beat Koepka. Of course he can. I'll just throw a few out of the. You want just the top line players, Aaron, or where are we going here? All this, just in general.
Whatever you like.
All right. Yeah. So my favorite one of the week is Patrick Reed over Jordan Spieth, and it's the only favorite that I have. As you know, I do not like betting favorites in these matchup bets, but I think this is just a great spot for Patrick Reed, as already described. And while Jordan's playing a lot better, and I had him in a matchup last week, for him, I think against here, this is not exactly his type of course where he's to shine. So I just think that this is just a much better spot for Reed. I mentioned Brandon Grace over Tyrrell Hatton, and then the Battle of the Canucks. Adam Hadwin over Corey Connors. Hadwin +105. Corey Connors is 0 for 3 here, and his average score is like 74 and change. He's just abysmal at this place. Same thing that we did with Ryan Moore last week. Ryan Moore was so goddamn bad at Colonial, we're just going to bet against him. Find a spot and bet against him. And Hadwin fits the bill here. Shorter hitter, good short game, so Hadwin +105.
Bobby Digital, what are some matchup bets you like?
Well, gentlemen, I took the little trip down to Stations Casinos today to try to pick up some matchup bets and stuff like that, and there were none. There was nothing to see. I asked them for matchup bets, and he looked at me like I was crazy. People bet on golf? Yes, retard. They bet on golf. Yeah, so I got 0 matchups for you, but bet Kiz, bet Cooch, and bet Luke Donald against whatever fossil they put him up against. Donald will beat them.
Hey, Luke Donald's not awful. I mean, he's got 3 runner-ups in the last 6 years. So I mean, that's not bad.
He's due.
Who's he
He's
gonna
only played
have?
6 times in the last 6 years, so yeah.
Right,
It's,
he only plays
well,
Hilton Head.
50% second places. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
So, all right, well, let's wrap it up here. We'll thank the sponsors here real quick. Tony, I know you. It's going to be a.
It's my favorite time, yeah.
Hey,
Sign out now.
2 things before we go. Tony Johnson, before you put these bets in, let's get deep on Kisner this week. Let's
Yes,
go
sir.
heavy. You got
I'm in. Oh, I'm already in.
Mike,
I'm loaded. I'm loaded in. Yeah. I have no
Mike.
matchup though. I didn't find a matchup either with him. I want a matchup too with him, but I don't see one. I just have the future bet. So yeah.
we got a day and a half. We'll figure it out. But let's get big on kids this week. And my kid is right outside the door listening. She wanted me to tell all you guys hello again. So Gracie says hello to all the
Hello?
golf guys.
I'll tell you what. If she can hear, if Daddy hits on Kevin Kisner, you're getting a pony. You're getting a pony.
Big bonus.
So
Kids Bucks. Kids
there you go.
Bucks.
Kiz Bucks, and Luke Donald Bucks. All right, so let's wrap it up here. Thank the sponsors. First and foremost, 12 Ounce Sports, where we are broadcasted in both audio and video formats each week. You can check out all the shows at 12ozsportsnetwork.com. Make sure you check out the 12 Ounce Sports Store, where you can find everything from T-shirts. Uh-oh. What's he doing?
Kisner.
Oh, okay. Is that like a bad Venn diagram? All roads lead to Kisner.
Yes.
Make sure you check out that 12 Ounce Sports Store, where you can find everything from T-shirts, coffee mugs, beach towels, and golf polos are now available at the I bought one, so hopefully it'll be coming soon. Also, we are broadcast on Zingo TV. It is a streaming service for your iPhone, Android device, smart TV, Roku stick, all those different. I can't even keep up with all the technology that's going on. If you want to sign up for it, please use promo code 12OZ. It is free to sign up, and it kicks back to the 12-Ounce Sports Company. Always free. I personally prefer to use it on the phone so I can watch all the shows wherever I go, but you can also watch it on the big screen if you got one at home. Also, mybookie.ag, if you're looking for the best odds and the most options to degen your money away, look no further than mybookie.ag. Sports are making their way back, and now it is time to get your account funded. They will match, 100% match your deposit up to $1,000. Use promo code 12OZ Sports to sign in today. And think about it this way, Token. If you bet like I do and bet like you do, consider it a donation to a good cause, like maybe making Tony Johnson's next car payment.
Yeah, exactly.
So, also Wicked Cuts jerky. If you're tired of the same old bland jerky, grab a bag of Wicked Cuts. Trust me, I have tried this. I should have let you try it on the golf course the other day. I had a bag in the carts. Most tender jerky I've ever had.
That sounds good. Yeah.
It is delicious. I will get you guys some bags too. I just put a new order in. Yeah, fuck off, bro.
You know how much I like gas station jerky, so.
I tell you what. I'll tell you what, Bobby. With that money you had to pay me out on Monday, I'll buy you a bag of Wicked Cuts.
$40, big deal.
Well, that pays for a bag of Wicked Cuts.
I shot just under half my weight, so yeah, it was fine.
And you shot just under Luke Donald's age, so there you go.
Watch, 150 to 1. It's gonna win the whole thing.
Oh God, that number's so bad.
So,
I say 250 was the lowest that you should probably.
We'll pick that bag up of Wicked Cuts today at wickedcuts.co. Also, Fat Tees Barbecue, delicious barbecue in the Albuquerque area. Please check out fatteesfood.com and chaipoker.com. Check out Ben and what all they're doing, the great stuff they're doing over there. Hopefully, now that poker rooms are opening, Chai Poker can put some tournaments together. Always a good time there. If you haven't been and you're in the Vegas area, please stop by and do that. All right, so that's the sponsors. We paid the bills here real quick. Any parting words, gentlemen, before we sign off?
Go Schwartzel.
All right, that's a good spot to end it. So
That is, yeah.
for Tony Johnson, for Token Tony, Bobby Digital, I am Aaron. Good luck on your bets this week at RBC. We'll catch you on the next one.